Mallory Molly Gulley first attracted the world's attention in late 2020 by participating in the world-renowned spin-off of one of Discovery Channel's most prominent TV shows, Street Outlaws Memphis. She joined as part of J.J. DeBoss's crew, which appears to be the only true competitors to Big Chief's versatile and experienced group of racers in Oklahoma. Being one of J.J. DeBoss's favorites, she quickly rose into the limelight to the surprise of many fans around the world, as she was deemed both attractive and talented for drag racing, which is by all means a rarity in the automotive world. J.J. treated Mallory like his own daughter throughout her entire stay in the show, causing the audience never able to get quite enough of her on screen. One of the many reasons why Molly is beloved by the fans is her great racing potential that JJ would always point out in spite of her reservations to actually engage in proper racing. Her trusty vehicle named Ugly Duck also has its own piece of fame, and the other members of JJ's crew were never reluctant to bet on it once the track began to heat up. However, due to her humble nature and general anxiety, Molly always doubted herself and engaged in the activity with a lot of self-doubt. One such example happened in 2020, sitting timidly in her car when JJ appeared to voice his support, saying, "Let's do your thing, Molly. Ain't nobody but you. You ain't gonna burn out." The issue appeared to be that Mallory wasn't keeping the gas pedal pressed enough, which obviously affected her performance. JJ said, "The only thing Molly is slipping on is her burnouts. Once she masters that, she's gonna be as good as anybody." To lift her spirits and ensure she does her job well, JJ simply told her to hold it to the floor, don't let the gas off, till you pass me. The pressure seemed to be mounting either way, however, with Molly stating, "I'm running 2 races tonight, one in my Ugly Duck, but the first is gonna be in zip tie. To be honest, I'm not near as confident in zip tie as I am in my car. JJ says my burnouts aren't very good in zip tie." Near the start of the race, she still wasn't doing her best, so JJ approached again and exclaimed, "Try to hold it down further, or you ain't gonna get out of the water." Molly then explained why this lesson is so important, stating, "Burnouts play a major factor in street racing because you gotta get your tires hot so they can grip through, and in zip tie, since it works so good on the street, it's really hard to get the tires spinning." Still, she faced a much bigger challenge not long after that, when the producers decided that she had to race JJ DeBoss according to the schedule they devised. The news came as a shock to his whole crew, and especially the leader himself, who never expected to face off against someone he was trying to encourage. He said, "Up next is me racing Molly and the Ugly Duck. I had rather raced anyone on the property than race one of my MSO, Memphis Street Outlaws, family members, but we gotta do it." JJ added that it made little difference to him whether a member of his group was racing against him or not, as he was going to ensure that each and every MSO personality gets the optimal vehicle treatment. Hence, he started working on Molly's car and improving it so that it could potentially get first place. To that end, he added, "Even though I'm racing Molly in Old Heavy, I'm gonna make sure that she has the right tune and that she can win. Win, lose, or draw, I don't care, as long as MSO wins." As he gave her car most optimal setup and went out of the driver's seat, JJ told Molly, "Let's do it. Run it. Drive it. Drive your best. Do whatever you think you want to do. Don't worry about your racing me. You're like, I ain't even over there. You do exactly what you were born to do. Race. Let's do it." Having been encouraged by her mentor, Molly gave her thoughts to the filming crew, stating, "So, second round, I drew JJ in Old Heavy. I know this is probably going to be the toughest race I've ever raced because I know I'll have to be super fast. I know I can't pedal. If I pedal, he's going to beat me. Because I know that he's fast." Molly was introduced to the world of motorsports at a very young age, thanks to her father, Kenneth Gulley, who owns the Gulley Garage in Arkansas. She had spent a great deal of time roaming around the premises and looking at all the mechanical bits strewn around the tables, marveling at the engineering of drag race cars. There were no Street Outlaws on TV back when Molly was a child, so she had to go watch the real thing in order to state her appetite for speed. Having seen many a race by the time she was just about ready for the entertainment industry, she developed a hunger for being on the track itself as the one controlling the roaring pile of metal hurling down the asphalt at unthinkable speeds. Fortunately for Molly, her senior had a connection in the racing business, JJ himself. It was thus no surprise when the video entitled "JJ Da Boss: How Mallory Gulley Got Her Wings" was uploaded on the 15th of February 2020, in which the future star is seen sitting in a luxury sports car with JJ and going for a test drive. Da Boss teases the audience, commenting on the live stream by saying, "Nah, I ain't got no big heart. My partner Kenneth Gulley told me he can pay me to teach her to be a street racer. She might not have it though. I don't know. We're just about to see." This car was only the first part of her tryout, according to the mentor, who instructed her on how to treat the test track, adding, "Just like you gun street race somebody. See what you got here. And then we gonna get in a 70-mile Chevelle. See what you know. We gonna see the difference. See everything. Show us what you got." After about 10 minutes of driving around in different cars, JJ concludes his positive verdict and gives Molly a piece of advice, explaining, "If you're going to be a street racer, then you're going to have to learn how to shift the gears. You're going to have to learn how to style it up. You're going to have to do it if you're a street racer." JJ obviously took her under his wings not long after, bringing her into the spotlight of the MSO crew and right into the hearts of his fans all over the planet. Even though Mallory had a great time filming the fourth season, she, for some reason, decided to discontinue her presence in Street Outlaws Memphis and was thus nowhere to be seen in Season 5. Outraged viewers started asking questions and scouring the internet for any clues as to what exactly went so wrong that Molly had to just up and leave. But they were in for yet another surprise. It turns out nothing went wrong at all, but Molly simply seems to have got all the fame and recognition she wanted, now seeking the same success in another area of expertise. While her father does own a garage, that's not the family's main line of work. Their business is actually called Gulley Bail Bonds, whose owner and CEO is Kenneth himself. Molly initially didn't seem wooed by the idea of paperwork and taking risks for assumed felons, so she remained reluctant for a long time. It looks that filming for Street Outlaws Memphis made her much more willing to take risks, since in just half a year following her debut in the series, Molly went back to her roots and became a full-time employee of her father's bail bonds company. This business can be highly lucrative, depending on the area it's located in, with an average abundance of felons bringing significantly more money than the lack thereof. The bail bondsman charges 10% of the bailout fee imposed by the court, during which time the defendant is free to move around, but still required to be present at all court proceedings and not try to escape the country. In the case of someone violating any of these conditions, the bail bondsman is expected to pay the full amount owed to the state, thus ensuring that at least the government gets its due in the worst possible circumstances. These simple rules allow many pretrial offenders to get back to their normal lives after being arrested for only 10% of what they're actually supposed to pay in order to be on the outside. Molly's sister Natalie had been in the family business for a long time before her sibling joined, so helping her learn the ropes and taking the venture to new heights with much-needed twin-like energy that makes them stand out from the competition. Mallory's YouTube channel is used exclusively for uploading educational videos that address fugitives who run from the police, giving the audience advice on what not to do in a similar situation. One such video, and her most popular so far with over 10,000 views, shows the family trying to find a young African-American suspect whose bail money they were in the process of having to relinquish, as the defendant had skipped the trial altogether and gone into hiding. They eventually traced him to a run-of-the-mill motel, in which he was hiding from both the bail bondsman and the authorities. After a few unsuccessful attempts at entering the suspect's room, coupled with multiple threats that he's going to call the police and report the group of harassing him, Molly and the team gave up on trying to reason with him. They instead let the suspect call the police, knowing full well what was about to happen. This is the main reason for the views, as the video's entitled, "Fugitive Calls the Cops on Himself." As can be inferred, he was recognized as a wanted criminal and thus immediately taken into custody by the authorities, after which the Mallorys tried their best to push the court into giving the bail amount back to the family, who had no fault in the conscious and planned escape of an adult man. Although it's not really common for bail bondsmen to be recompensed in full for the money they lost due to an irresponsible customer, it's still regular business practice to try and do exactly that. Aside from that, it looks like her Instagram is full of great pastime activity posts, potentially showing Molly's rather more lackadaisical overall nature. Her picture with two other girls bearing the description of, "Last-minute concerts are always a good idea," is one such example, although Molly's favorite place for having her picture taken is either a boat or a beach. She has also garnered significant attention from the male element of the audiences over the years, some of which is undoubtedly owed to a rather attractive figure, prompting many to wonder whether the automotive industry star is anywhere near walking down the aisle with an appropriate man. Some will be disappointed to find out that Mallory isn't even close to having a remotely similar plan in early 2023, since she has no boyfriend to speak of and only takes pictures with her female friends, meaning she's either single or just quite talented at keeping her private life out of the media. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.